Hi everyone, very good morning to all of you. So today is 2nd of May and I welcome you all to Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So in this particular session, we are going to discuss all the important articles in Hindu newspaper that are relevant for our examination. Every class we start with a GS quotation, and also you can download explainer notes of this particular session from the Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in description box in YouTube. So let's get started with the newspapers. So first of all, let's take quotation for today. So we are going to take the quotation from Franklin D. Roosevelt. So Franklin D. Roosevelt says that the test of progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have little. So focus of a state is to enhance that how deprivations in the society can be reduced, how vulnerabilities in the society can be reduced, the people who are the most poorest, how their life condition can be improved. This is the important parameter for progress in the society. So the test of progress is how much we provide to those who have little. Are we able to provide enough to those who have little or not? So this is about the quotation, and you can use this particular quotation in GS paper number 4 ethics. Also, you can use this particular quotation in answers in your essays. So this is about it, and now let's move and let's take first article for today. So we have this particular article, that is ISRO finds proof of enhanced possibility of water ice in polar craters of the moon. So this particular article, guys, we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 3, GS paper number 3, science and technology, as well as for prelims examination. We'll see this particular article. So it is going to be an important article for examination. So let's get started and let's understand that what this particular article provides. Now, basically, guys, there are many countries who have carried exploration on moon. Many countries have carried exploration on moon. For example, when we talk about India, so India's Chandrayaan is there, which aims to study moon. Then US under their Artemis program, USA are also taking the exploration of moon. Then China's Chang'e mission, under the Chang'e of China, they are also taking up the moon exploration. Now, over the years, it has been seen that there is a possibility of water on moon. There is a possibility of water on moon. In fact, Chandrayaan 1 had concluded this particular thing in 2000s, around 2007-8, that there is water on moon. Now, guys, what has happened? There is a new study in this particular direction which has been done by the scientist of Space Application Center of ISRO. Now, these particular scientists say this particular thing, that water is there, and particularly on polar region, there are ice caps that are there on moon. Now, they provide this particular thing that the amount of the amount of subsurface ice subsurface ice is 5 to 8 times larger than the ice on surface. So basically, this is, let's say, surface. When you excavate, so at a particular depth, which is not that much deep, but at a shallow depth, the quantity of ice is 5 to 8 times more, than ice that is there on surface. Now, understand this particular thing, guys, that what is happening. So there are attempts that are being made to ensure long-term human presence on moon. Okay, so there are base stations that are to be developed on moon. In this capacity, even Russia and China has collaborated. They are going to establish a colony or base station on moon. And for that, what we need water, and therefore drilling on moon can provide water, which is the most basic primordial need for the future missions. Moreover, in this particular study that has been done by Space Application Center, it has also been provided that there is more water ice in the northern pole. Fine, now the ice in northern polar region is two times than ice in the southern polar region. So the quantity of ice is more, approximately twice, in northern polar region. Then also it has been provided that from where this particular ice came. So volcanic activity that has happened in the past on moon, it is important for that. So due to volcanic activity, what happened? There was outgassing that happened. Okay, and what happens? Water vapors they were developed. Okay, which has eventually led to the culmination of water ice. So outgassing during volcanism in the in the Iberian period is important for this deposition of ice. So this is guys all about this particular article, and the article is important for your examination. Fine, I hope you've understood it. Now moving on, and let's take the next article. IIA releases video of moon occulting brightest star Antares. Now this article also we'll see with respect to GS paper number 3, science and technology, as well as we'll see this particular article science and technology, as well as we'll see this particular article with respect to the prelims examination, because some of the facts have been given here which will be important. So basically what happened, Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Indian Institute of Astrophysics, it has filmed the passing of moon in front of Antares. Now what is Antares? Antares is a red star. So basically guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the formation of a star, sorry, life cycle of a star. So first of all, there will be interstellar nebula. There will be interstellar nebula, which is nothing but a thick cloud of dust. This nebula will be converted in star, and then towards the end of this particular life, what will happen? A star will turn in red giant or red supergiant. Okay, red star. So when a star nears to its end, it turns into a red star or red supergiant star. Now when we talk about Antares, so Antares is a red star, means that it is going towards the end of its life. Okay, and moon, what it has done, moon has occulted, moon has covered Antares and hid Antares for 40 minutes, and this particular event were visible from southern India. Also, it has been provided that occasionally moon hides many bodies, many stars, and even sometimes planets. Now, when we talk about this star Antares, it is the brightest star in the constellation Scorpius. So, Antares star, it is from constellation Scorpius. Is it clear? So, this is about the important aspects of this particular article. So, I hope you've understood it, and now we'll move to next article. India must collaborate with Indian Ocean countries for data on warming. Now, this particular article will see with respect to GS paper number 3, GS paper number 3, issues related to climate change. Issues related to climate change. Also, with respect to disaster management, will take this particular article. So, basically, what this article is talking about, this article is talking about recent study by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. Fine. Recent study by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. Now, this particular study has provided that there is a phenomena that is marine heat waves that is increasing. So, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology provides this thing, that Indian Ocean, it has warmed 1.2 degrees Celsius in past, and will additionally add up in the range of 1.7 degree to 3.8 degrees Celsius between 2020 to 2100. So 2020 to 2100, fine, the ocean will will heat up from 1.7 to 3.8 degrees Celsius. And what it will lead to? It will lead to marine heat waves. Marine heat waves. Up till now, we have heard about land based heat waves, but it will lead to marine heat waves. And because of these marine heat waves, it will contribute to rapid formation of cyclones. Now, you know already this particular thing, that cyclone formation depends on a lot of on the subsurface temperature. So if these marine heat waves will increase, surface temperature will go up, and this surface temperature will lead to more cyclones. And it has been said that when we talk about the currently 20 days in an year are conducive to formation of cyclone. But these days which are conducive to formation of cyclone, they'll increase to 220 to 250 days per year in next 10 years approximately. So it will lead to more disasters also. It will lead to more disasters in the form of cyclone. Further, it's provide this particular thing, that what is happening? Indian Ocean is being pushed to a near permanent heat wave state. Near permanent heat wave state, where by default, temperature of Indian Ocean will be high and a kind of a heat wave state will be there. Also, it's being provided that when we talk about the amount of heat that is being added to ocean, so 4.5 zeta joules per decade. Okay, heat is being added and it will increase to 16 to 20 zeta joules per decade in future, which is huge, Okay, now it has also been compared to detonation of nuclear bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima per second. This much heat will be added. Now, there will be negative consequences of this rapid warming. What consequences? The first consequences will be that it will lead to more cyclones. These cyclones will have a negative impact on coastal areas of India. Disaster problem will be there. Secondly, monsoon will become more erratic and uneven. Now, when we talk about, guys, India presently 60% of 60% of agriculture that is carried in India is of rain-fed type. It is of rain-fed type. Fine, and therefore, if there will be disturbances in the temperature in monsoon, what will happen? This change will also be there. Then also next issue that comes here is that basically we need to reduce greenhouse emissions. We need to reduce greenhouse emissions. This is the only way greenhouse gas emissions is to be reduced. This is only way to ensure that such negative impacts on ocean in the form of marine heat waves are not there. So therefore, what we need to do? If we, number one, we need to reduce emission. Number two, we need to better understand dynamics going on in Indian Ocean. And in this capacity, we need to have a collaborative approach. We need to have collaborative association with the countries who are bordering Indian Ocean. Now understand this particular thing, that when we talk about Pacific Ocean, there are large number of research centers that have been devoted specifically on studies of Pacific. More sensors have been deployed to understand the temperature changes in Pacific, but in Indian Ocean such focus has not been given. So infrastructure need to be established to understand that how temperatures are changing in Indian Ocean. So this is about it. And now moving to next article: wrong way to fight inequality. Wrong way to fight inequality. Now, this particular article talks about the rising inequality in India, and here reference of French economist Thomas Piketty has been given. Reference of French economist Thomas Piketty has been given. So, first of all, when we talk about Thomas Piketty's one of a book, that is Income and Wealth Inequality in India: The Rise of Billionaire Raj. Now, in this particular book, Thomas Piketty says this, that inequality has increased substantially in the past few years, and it says that today inequality is worse, even worse than the British colonial rule, even worse than British colonial rule. So, it provides this particular thing that in 2022, just top 1% of the people, they owned 40% of total wealth. Okay, 1% people, they own 40% of wealth. And at the same time, poorest 50% people, they own just 6.4% of wealth. The poorest 50% people, they own just 6.4% of total wealth. Also, it has been provided that they earn just 15% of income. 15% of income. So rich are getting more rich. Rich are having a lot of resources. Rich are the ones who hold property as well as income. So inequality clearly have increased in past few years. Moreover, it has been provided that actually as India's growth has come, inequality has increased more. So there was just 1.6% annual average growth rate between 1960s to 1990. It increased to 3.6% average per year between 1990 to 2022. But with this growth, what happened? Wealth disparities have increased. What has happened with this particular growth? Wealth disparities have widened, they have increased. Okay, particularly it is disadvantaging to the bottom 50% of people. Now, whenever we talk about the rising wealth, often solution that's given, it is given in the form that what we need to do, we need to impose more wealth tax. Super wealthy people, super rich people, on them more wealth tax is to be imposed. But this particular article says that no, imposing more wealth tax might not be right approach because it can hinder economic mobility, can have negative unintended impact. What can happen if more wealth tax will be imposed? Rich people, what they might do, they might, number one, conceal their income. Secondly, if more taxes will be there, they might get disadvantaged, sorry, they might get disincentivized to invest, to invest further in economy. So therefore article gives a certain suggestions. Number one suggestion that has been given is that what we need to do, number one, we need to, rather than imposing more tax on wealthy people, rather than focusing on that how we can take from wealthy people and give to poor, we need to enhance economic freedom for lower income groups. We need to reduce, now this is very important, we need to reduce special privileges that are being given to wealthy people, special privileges that are being given to wealthy people, crony capitalism that is there, government giving government giving a lot of subsidies to rich people, giving support to corporate people, waiving of their loans, etc. This is something that is to be removed. So don't give more, basically don't give special privileges to rich, and at the same time give enhanced economic freedom opportunities for lower income people. Also, it has been provided that rather than going for the wealth tax, we need to improve economic accessibility of poorer segments, how they can better access resources, how better they can use resources. This ability can be improved, and for that what we need to do, we need to bring reforms in financial and educational sector. Poor people should have access to capital so that they can pursue entrepreneurship. Educational sector, we need to ensure that even the poorest of the poor people can get educated so that they can make a so that they can achieve great things in their life. So this is something that has come in this article. Now moving to next article, analyzing labor on a warming planet. Analyzing labor on a warming planet. Now again, this article will take with respect to GS paper number 3, environment, climate change, and also with respect to GS paper number 3, labor related issues, labor issues. Now, so recently what happened, ILO, International Labour Organization, they have released a report by the name of Ensuring Safety and Health at Work in a Changing Climate. Okay, so ILO say because of climate change, even worker class will be negatively impacted. Poor people, fine, they will be negatively impacted. Now, according to ILO report, it's provided that around 23 million work related injuries will be there. They say that people are getting exposed to excessive heat, and because people are getting exposed to excessive heat, it will lead to 23 million work related injuries. Now let's understand. According to ILO report, it says that there will be six type of impacts that will happen because of climate change. What are these impacts? Number one, there will be excessive heat. Then excessive ultraviolet radiation will be there. Extreme weather events will be there. Extreme air pollution. Then there are vector-borne disease such as malaria, dengue, chikungunya, etc. Then there are agrochemicals. A lot of agriculture that are a lot of chemicals that are being used in agriculture sector. It will lead to the problem of its own. Now, because of these particular impacts that are happening, what will happen? What will happen? Stress will increase, possibility of heat stroke will increase, exhaustion will increase. And according to ILO, workers working in agriculture sector, construction sector, conservancy workers refers to the workers who are doing cleaning work. So conservancy workers, the workers involved in transport and tourism sector, they will be most impacted. Now, if we talk about India, gig workers today, they are a big force of they are big proportion of labor force, workforce. Now, when we talk about gig workers, who are gig workers? Gig workers are the one who are involved in informal agreements with their employers. They are not on official payroll of a company. So gig workers today, such as the people working in Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, so they today constitute 1.5% of India's total workforce, and it will increase to 4.5% by 2030. So 4.5% people, they will be involved in the basically they will be involved in gig sector. Who says? This is provided by a NASCOM study, and it has been provided that these particular segments are more vulnerable to heat stress. They are more vulnerable to climate change that is happening now. 80% of our country's workforce, 80% of the workforce, that is 600 million, they are susceptible to heat related hazard. Okay. Now, in India, we have 13 central laws such as Factory Act, Workmen Compensation Act, Building and Other Construction Workers Act, Plantation Labor Act, Mines Act. There are 13 acts which talks about safety of workers at workplace. Now, all these 13 laws, they got consolidated in the form of Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code 2020. So today, this is the code which chiefly deals with the problems of which chiefly deals with the problem of workers. Wow, but point problem is that government has not officially notified it up till now. Government has not officially notified it. Now, when we talk about Factories Act, so Factories Act, what it does, it defines the provisions for ventilation and temperature control. Provision for ventilation and temperature control. It also provides that the state should ensure that optimal standards should be followed, optimal temperature should be there in workplace, in factories. But Factories Act has left to states, that states can come and agree that okay, how much is the temperature which is in the tolerance range. But what has happened up till now, the states that have first of all, a lot of states have not notified that what will be the comfortable range of temperature in factory. If some states have notified it, they have notified it 5 decades back, 50 years back. But if you see today, heat extremes are increasing, temperature is increasing. So we need to revise these codes. Now, Brazil, for example, now Brazil is a good case study, and Brazil's name is mentioned by ILO report itself. Now, when we talk about Brazil, Brazil talks about wet bulb global temperature, wet bulb global temperature. Okay, guys, please confirm this particular thing that is the stream clear. Can you hear my voice? Just a minute, guys. The maybe there is some screen issue. Okay, guys, just give me 1 minute. I don't know that what happened, but the screen is not getting detected. Okay, guys. So I hope we are now. I'm back. Now we are back. Please, guys, tell me that when you can you hear the voice as well as can you see video? Please confirm this particular thing. Yes, please confirm in the comment box that can you hear me and whether video is clear. Yes, guys, please comment. Can you hear? Video is clear. Okay. So what we are talking about, we before this glitch came, we were discussing about Brazil's case study, which defines the wet bulb global temperature, that if it go beyond a particular level, then work has to be stopped and workers need to be given a break. They need to be given some break. So when we talk about this wet bulb temperature indirectly refers to the humidity. If wet bulb temperature goes up, it means humidity is going up. Okay. And when humidity combines with heat, we get heat index, and humidity with the heat is most deadly combination. So they provide that if wet bulb temperature goes beyond 29.4 degrees Celsius for low intensity work, then a break is to be given. If it is go 27.3% for moderate intensity, 26% for high intensity, and 24.7% of very high intensity, then work is to be stopped and break is to be given. So this is one way that how the Brazil is dealing. In India also we need to have some norms. Also, next it is being said that there is one more type of occupational illness that will increase in years to come, and that is silicosis. So what is silicosis? Silicosis is incurable incurable pulmonary disease. Means it impacts your lungs, and it is called as lung dust disease. This happens because of the fine particulate matter, fine dust that is ingested, which is emitted out of coal mines. Now we are going to increase our coal consumption and coal production. Because of that, what will happen, this silicosis as a problem in labors will be there. Then next that we talk about is that basically now it is job of inspectors under the Factories Act to inspect work conditions and to inspect that workers are not exposed to such harms. They need to ensure that gears, protective equipment is there for the workers who are employed in coal industry or wherever there is a silica exposure. But states have not shown much of eager in implementing these things. So these are certain things that are to be implemented. Then next here we have this article, budget and bills passed with little deliberation. Now here you can see that many of the states, they have passed their entire budgets without so much of discussion. Now in chart 1 you can see proportion of budget passed without discussion. So Madhya Pradesh 85% of their budget was passed without discussion. West Bengal 74% of their budget was passed without discussion. Kerala 78% of their budget was passed without discussion. Also, we see that number of sittings and reports are tabled by PAC. Now, PAC, it stands for Public Account Committee. So, here we see that number of sittings and reports tabled by PAC. Okay. they are also coming down. So here you see that basically there are so many of the states where the number of sittings by the public account committee has been less. Also, if you see, so many reports are being issued. There are few states which are issuing good number of reports, but apart from that, majority of states are not regularly issuing public accounts committee report. Then here chart 3 shows how much time it is taken by state legislature to pass bills in 2023. Now a large number of charts you'll find that they have blue color. Now blue color means, now dark blue means passed within a day, little bit light blue means passed in 2 to 5 days. So we find that so many of the bills are either being passed within a day or maximum in next 2 to 5 days. So many bills are getting passed. It shows this particular thing, that much of deliberation, much of discussion is not going on in on the bills. So this is something. Then also the ordinances that are being promulgated, we see that the states such as UP promulgated 20 ordinances. Fine. Here we say Andhra Pradesh promulgated 11 ordinances. So number of ordinance has went up. Number of days that is being taken to clear the bill, they have went down. Number of the percentage of bill that is being passed without the discussion, it is also very much high. So all these particular things shows that at the level of parliament, role of discussion and deliberation is important and it should not be diluted. Then India, one of key geographies affected by phishing attacks. Impacted by the phishing attacks. Now understand this particular thing, guys. In present age, we find this particular thing. That data is new gold. Data is new oil. Now, what is phishing? Phishing is using fraudulent. Phishing means using fraudulent means to collect. See what you do. You send somebody some link, you send somebody some email which will appear that it has come from genuine source, and you trick another person to click on some link, and then you try to gain a person's sensitive information like credit card information, passwords, etc. So they are phishing. Now what is phishing? Phishing attacks are sending fraudulent communication. That fraudulent communication will look that it has come from genuine source, reputable source, and when people will link some click their sensitive information such as credit card, etc., it will be compromised. Now what happened recently, a report has been published by Verizon Business, and this report says that India is one of the key geography which is affected by phishing attacks. So what you can do, you can just mention these sources about the Verizon Business report. But one more thing it has sent, that good thing is that actually reporting has increased. 20% of users are now identifying and reporting phishing cases in stimulation test. So this is something that has been there. Fine. So guys, this is all about the session for today. And with this, we come to an end to this session. I hope guys that you have liked it, and sorry for the glitch that happened in between. Thank you so much, guys.